reliability, and we started with some relevant mathematics which would be needed in the subsequent discussions. And then we had, in this context, we had discussed upon state space representation of the system. And we had discussed in this particular context about Markov models, discrete state and continuous time models. And then we had found out how to mathematically find out the state probabilities. The reason is that power systems are very complex systems. To model them mathematically is not very easy. It is probably easier to identify the states in which the system can exist, and then figure out the transitions that can happen in between the states, and therefore find out the state probabilities. For example, a working state, for example, a state in which it has failed, or for example, some various degraded states. So if we know the probabilities, the frequency of encountering these states, and the duration of time, the duration in which the system can spend in these states, we have a fair idea about reliability issues. For example, you know how long this particular state can exist in which a certain outage can be experienced, and what is the frequency of these outages, and what would be the chance of occurrence of these states. So these are very important. Issues which ought to be known for any power system. And therefore, in that context, we had discussed about modeling the entire system in terms of state space and representing them in state space, and then figuring out the transitions between the various states, and then trying to find out what are the state probabilities, what are the various state probabilities. Now we are coming to yet another important concept or parameter that you might say, called state frequencies and durations. For example, how often would you encounter a state in which there is a certain outage? That is important to know. And for example, how long a certain outage can last. So state frequencies and duration, not merely the state probabilities, but also the state frequencies and durations we ought to know. So it is possible through this state space analysis to figure out the state frequencies and durations. Now, a little bit of relevant mathematics and relevant, expressions which can lead to these state frequencies and durations. And I will not go into the derivations because that's a lengthy affair and would require probably more intense background in mathematics. So we'll try to skip that as far as possible, and then just focus on the relevant results in terms of trying to obtain the state frequencies and duration. And wherever a little description is possible about the approach and the methodology, I'll dwell on it a little more. So the frequency of encountering state I, there's this state I. It could be an outage state, it could be a working state, or it could be a failed state as well. So you could enter into this state from any other state, all the other states. Various other states, you could enter into this state at any time, and then you could also exit out of this state. For example, if there is a line outage, if it is fixed, you'll go back to the previous state. If there is a generation outage, if that can be handled, then you go back to the previous state. So the transitions both ways are possible. One is from a specific state to any other state, and from any other state back to that state. So reverse could be a repair, and outage is basically failure. Okay, so this is a way probably you would like to represent and figure out the frequencies and the duration. In order to relate the frequency, probability, and mean duration of a given system state, the history of the system will be regarded as consisting of two alternating periods, the states in I and the states outside I. This is one easy way of trying to figure out what is the transition to a specific state and what is the transition from that specific state to any other state. Otherwise, if you consider everything simultaneously, it would be too difficult to understand and make sense out of it. And therefore, it is easy to model it in a way that you are interested in a specific state, and therefore the rest of the states transitions to rest of the state and transition from rest of the state to that specific state. So we are not merely interested in knowing how frequently this can happen, how frequently an outage state, for example, can be experienced. But you are also keen to know how long that duration is going to last. You know, is it a few minutes, or is it going to last all day long, or is it going to be a few hours? You know, so that's very important to know. Therefore, mean duration of stay in state I. So this is a particular state, and how long are you going to spend time in that state? Mean duration of stay in states outside I. You know, so obviously, if you find out the mean duration of stay in a particular state, it is also of relevance to find out the mean duration of stay in all other remaining states. So mean duration of stay in a particular state and then outside the rest of the states. So these are the notations Ti and Ti plus Ti dash. So what is the mean cycle time? You know, so it stays in this Ti and then it stays Ti dash. So the mean cycle time is referred as Ti plus Ti dash. And therefore, you know the relationship between time and frequency. So the frequency is 1 divided by the state frequency. The state frequency is 1 upon mean cycle time. Okay, so this particular state, you know, is 1 upon mean cycle time. So it is 1 upon TCI. So because it spends some time here and then goes into this state and then comes back to this state. So there is a duration of time which it spends here and duration of time it spends here, and therefore there is a certain frequency of encountering this particular state. There is a certain frequency of encountering the other states. So state frequency is 1 upon the cycle time. Okay, so if you multiply this by Ti, you know, if you multiply this for example by Ti, so you get Fi(Ti) is equal to Ti by Tci. You know, you don't know that this duration, how long it's going to spend in a particular state, and in proportion to the cycle time. But you can safely say that Ti by Tci is approximately equal to the probability of being in that state. Okay, Ti by Tci, the proportion of time that it spends with respect to the total cycle time, you can call it the probability. You know, if it spends all the time, then probability is 1. If it doesn't spend any time, then the probability is 0. So it's some value between 0 and 1. And of course, you don't know when these states will be encountered. They'll be random. They'll have some kind of randomness. And therefore, the frequency of encountering that state is the probability of existing in that state divided by the duration of time that it spends in that state. You see, ultimately we were trying the frequency of encountering that state. Okay. Now, so that's one frequency we were interested. The other frequency that we are interested is in what is the frequency of transfer from one state to another, from state I to state J, for example. There is some mathematics involved around it. You can skip that part of the mathematics, although it's not something very difficult and complex to know, but it will kind of distract you from the main idea. that you are interested in knowing the frequency of transitions from one state to another, and that can be said to be equal to the transition rate multiplied by the state probability. You are transiting from I to J state, therefore take the probability of I and then multiply it by the transition rate. Okay, so the frequency is equal to lambda ij into probability of the state. Okay, therefore the transition rate is essentially a conditional frequency, the condition being that the system resides in A. From the definitions of Fi and Fij, so the frequency of encountering that state is the sum of the frequencies of encountering, making transitions from I to J or J to I and so on. Okay, so this would roughly be equal to, the probability of the state multiplied by the sum of the departures from that state. Okay, so you have total rate of departures from that state and multiplied by the probability of the state will give you the frequency of encountering that state. Okay, so you see what we are doing is, you want to know the frequency of encountering this state. All you need to find out is the state probability and then what are the departures to other states. Now these are all other states. So there are various states to which it can depart. So you sum up all these transitions in which departures are happening, and then you multiply it by the state probability. That would give you the frequency of encountering that state. Okay, and therefore, if you equate, the two, if you look at this, Fi is Pi by Ti, and then Fi is equal to Pi multiplied by some of the departures. So that would imply that if you equate the two, you get, the duration of time that you spend in a particular state as the reciprocal of the sum of the departure rates. So you find out the departure rates, find out their sum from a particular state, take the reciprocal, and that is the duration of stay in a particular state. So what have we found out till now? One is, we already know the probability of encountering a particular state. We have solved those state space models and found out the state probabilities. But now you know also the frequency of encountering a particular state. And you also know the duration of stay in a particular state. So probability of being in a particular state, frequency of encountering a particular state, and duration of staying in a particular state. Okay, so these are the three things of importance and which we have been able to find out. So the mean duration of stays in any given state is the reciprocal of the total rate of departures from that state. This will be elaborated also through examples, so don't worry, just try to get a hang of the ideas and the concepts, and then get a kind of idea about the expressions, and then therefore you'll be able to solve problems. So let's take an example. We want to find out the probability of encountering various states, and we also want to know what are the frequencies of encountering particular state, how frequently you are going to encounter the state, and then what are the mean duration of states. How much of time will you spend in state 1, in state 2, state 0, state 3, and so on. This is a particular kind of model in which two component system with repair. So you have two component system. This is state 0. Both of them are working. Then, for example, either one could fail or two could fail at any random time. We don't know for whatever reason. So if one fails, that means lambda 1. If one fails, then you come to a state in which only 2 is working, 1 is not working. So component 2 is there. It could be generating system, it could be any transmission line, it could be anything. So you have a state in which 1 and 2 are working, 1 fails, and then you have 2 working, or 2 fails, you have 1 working. Okay, if 2 fails, then you have a state in which component 1 is working. Now the 2 has failed, but it can get repaired as well. They are all repairable or replaceable components. So if it gets repaired, then 2 which has failed gets repaired at the rate of mu2, which is the repair rate. And then you enter into a state in which 1 was already working and 2 which had failed is now repaired, and you are back to this state. Likewise, if 1 had failed, you would enter into a state in which component 2 is working, 1 is failed, and then subsequently it gets repaired and you return back to a state of in which both of them are working. Now, from state 2 in which 1 is working, you could enter into a state subsequently 2 has failed and now 1 also fails. Okay, we also assume that simultaneous failures are not happening there. We are saying that because they are random, so of course there is some chance that can happen, but it's not assumed to be of significance in terms of probabilities, and therefore this assumption. So you have a state in which 1 is working, and subsequently this can fail, and you can enter into a state in which none of them are. Earlier 1, 2 were working, 1, 2 had failed, now 1 has also. And then the 1 can get also repaired. Likewise, you could have been in a state 2 after 1 had failed, and then subsequently 2 fails, and you enter into a state 0 in which none of them are working. And then subsequently this gets repaired, and you enter into a state in which 2 is working. 2 has failed, 2 gets repaired. Here 1 has failed, 1 gets repaired. 1 has failed, 1 gets repaired. 2 has failed, 2 has failed, 2 gets repaired. Okay, so you see this is a 2-component model with repair, 2-component system with repair. Okay, so now there are 2 components, but what is the system like? The system, is it in kind of series, or is it necessary for both of them to operate for the system to operate? Or is it necessary that one of them can operate and one of them is a standby? There are 2 components. I mean, if there is a requirement of a generation of 80 megawatts, and you have 2 which is 40 and 40, so obviously both of them are required. So it's a kind of series system. There is nothing you can do about it. But for example, if the requirement is only 40, then you have 2 of them which are parallel. Which there is a standby, there is a redundancy, so that if one fails, the other takes over. So for a series system, you require both of them to be working, isn't it? As I said, for example, 40 megawatt 2 generators, requirement is 80. So both of them need to work. So both of them need to work. That means series system, the availability. When we say availability, because these are repairable items, these are repairable components. These are repairable units, and therefore repairable means you can carry out maintenance, repair them, and bring them back into operating state. So that means for series system, this is the state that you are looking for. Therefore, what is the probability of being in this state? Okay. Likewise, for parallel system, you can do with a state in which both are working. Your requirement is only 40. So both are working is fine. One of them is working is fine. Both of them are generating 40, 40, that's fine. One of them is working is also fine. The other is also fine. So you have either of these 3. Okay, either of these 3. So the probability of being in state 0, probability of being in state 1, probability of being in state 2 is the availability. So you have a parallel. You have a parallel. It is not just generation, but it could be transmission line, or there is redundancy everywhere. So therefore, parallel system is the sum of the probability of these 3 states. and series system is just this probability. And now we want to find out the availability, availability of the units, availability of the state in which you, availability of the state, which is series system, and the availability of the parallel system. Okay, so you need to find out the state probability, sum them up, it gives you the parallel system state probability and series system state. Now, how do we find out this P0, P1, P2? In this case, it's very simple. You see, state 0 means 1 is operational and 2 is operational. So 1 is operational. You remember we have found out what is the availability or probability for single unit is involved with failure rates and repair rates. Do you remember that? So probably we can go to that slide and see. Okay. So availability of a single unit which is repairable is steady state. You know, when we say availability or probability in power supply systems, in power system reliability, we only refer to steady states. So you have these repair rate divided by sum of the failure rate plus repair rate. So here you have, okay, 1 is working and 2 is working. We are interested in probability of being in state 0. So you have 1 working, that is the probability is mu1 divided by lambda 1 plus mu1. And 2 working and means multiplication. So mu1 divided by lambda 1 plus mu1 is probability of that unit 1 is the probability of unit 2. You know, the availability of unit 2. The availability of unit 1. So 1 and 2 is state 0. 1 and 2 is state 0 together. So mu1 divided by lambda 1 plus mu1, mu2 divided by lambda 2 plus mu2. You multiply them, you get P0. Okay. So if you know the failure departure rates and the repair rates, then you'll be able to find out the probability that the system can exist in this state. P0. Likewise, what about the probability of being in this state? Okay, you can write down the equations, there is no problem, and then solve. You still arrive at the same answers. So because we are looking for the steady state probabilities, you remember, so we had some alternate shorter way of trying to figure out the state probabilities, and therefore we are not writing those equations, differential equation, Laplace transform, inverse transform, because we are merely finding out these limiting state probabilities. Okay, so you have likewise state P1, you know, state 1. State 1 is the one in which 2 is working, 1 is not working. So 2 is working means mu2 by lambda plus mu2, the probability. And 1 is not working. You remember the unavailability expression is lambda by lambda plus mu. So when we say state 1, 2 is working and 1 is not working. You see, 1 has failed. So only 2 is working. So 2 is working and 1 is not working. So 2 is working, the probability of the availability is mu2 divided by lambda plus mu2. 1 is not working is lambda 1 divided by lambda 1 plus mu. Okay, so that's the state probability. Likewise, what about 2? State 2. State 2 is this. State 2, 1 is working, 2 is not working. Isn't it? 1 is working and 2 is not working. So 1 is working means mu1 divided by lambda 1 plus mu. And then 2 is not working means lambda 2 divided by lambda 2 plus mu. So you have these states 0, 1, 0, 2 and 0 and 1 and 2, the probability of these states. And what about state 3, in which both of them are working, 1 and 2, both of them are working. So you have, no, this is state 3, sorry, state 3 is this, okay, in which none of them are working. So state 3, none of them are working, 1 is not working, the probability is lambda 1 divided by lambda 1 plus mu 1. The next is also not working, 2 is also not working, lambda 2 divided by lambda 2 plus mu. So this is P0, P1, P2, P3. Okay. So these are the probabilities of being in state. And likewise, you can find out the duration of staying in these states. You remember we had found out the duration of staying in these states. Duration is reciprocal of the sum of the departures from that state. Sum of the departures from that state, the reciprocal of that is the duration of stay in a particular state. So when you are interested, for example, in T0, then what we do is, what are the departures from state 0? There is one departure which is lambda 1, the other departure is lambda 2. Mu1 and mu2 are entries into this state, they are not departures. So basically you have lambda 1 and lambda 2 are departures. So you sum these states, you sum these departures, lambda 1 plus lambda 2, and take the reciprocal. So 1 divided by lambda 1 plus lambda 2 is T0. 1 divided by lambda 1 plus lambda 2. Okay. So what is F0? Frequency of encountering this state. We have found out the state probabilities: 0, state 0, state 1, state 2, state 3, and we have found out the duration of stay in this state. Likewise, you can find out the duration of stay in each of these states. State 1 also. State 1, this is state 1. What are the departure rates? Mu1, this departure, and another is lambda 2. So you sum these two departure rates, mu1 plus lambda 2, and take the reciprocal. So 1 by mu1 plus lambda 2 is the departure rate. So reciprocal, so that is the duration of stay in state 2. Likewise, from duration of stay in state 0, departure rates are mu1 and mu2. So 1 upon mu1 plus mu2. Departure rates from state 1 is mu2 and lambda 1. So lambda 1 plus mu2, reciprocal 1 divided by lambda 1 plus mu2. So that's T1, that's T2, this is T1, duration of stay in state 1, duration of stay in state 2, duration of stay in state 0, duration of stay in state 3. So you have the durations of stays in the various states. Okay, but I've just listed one of the durations. Now, how do you find out the frequency of encountering that state? Okay, frequency of encounter. You remember this expression? The frequency of encountering this state is the probability of that state multiplied by the sum of the departures. Multiplied by the sum of the departures of that state. Okay, so you remember? So what is this sum of the departures? You remember this is the basically reciprocal is Pi. So Pi divided by Ti, that means the probability of that state divided by the duration of that state is Fi. So no big deal. You have already found out the probabilities, and you have also found out the duration of stay in that state. So if you divide the probability of staying in a particular state and duration of stay in that state, it gives you the frequency. But in this case, I have simply written down, for example, it's such a long expression. Typing was probably a problem, or handling it and showing it here. But this is simply what is being written. This is P0. This you need to divide by P0. T0 in this case is 1 by lambda 1 plus lambda 2. So in all, you would have mu1, mu2 multiplied by lambda 1 plus lambda 2 divided by lambda 1 plus mu1 into lambda 2 plus mu2 would be the frequency of encountering this state. Likewise, what would be the frequency of encountering state 1? That would be the P1, the probability of being in that state divided by the duration of stay in that state. Likewise, frequency of encountering state 2 is the state probability divided by the duration of stay in that state. Likewise, frequency of encountering state 3 is the probability of being in that state divided by the duration of stay in that state. And you know the duration of stays is the reciprocal of the sum of the departures from that state. So you can evaluate all the frequency. So no big deal. Now what have we been able to achieve here? We have been able to achieve we have been able to know all the state probabilities. We also know the duration of stays in the various states, and we also know the frequency of encountering this state. So this is of great relevance to us from the power systems point of view. Okay, so you can examine all kinds of systems. I'm not going to go into the details. I've just discussed one of those examples with 4 states and with all kinds of departure rates. So you can have various kinds of models, you know, which relate to various situations. For example, this is an operating state of a particular unit or a transmission line, and then it's down. So it has only one failure rate departure and a repair rate. So this is very simple. So you want to find out the probabilities of existing the system existing in either in state 1 or state 2, the duration of stays in state 1 or state 2, the frequency of encountering state 1 or state 2, you can find out. No, you know the departure rates. There's just one departure rate. So big deal. So duration of stay in this state 1 is 1 by lambda. Duration of stay in state 2 is mu, 1 by mu. Okay, so frequency is probability of this state divided by the duration of stay, okay, which is 1 by lambda. So it gets multiplied, P into lambda. So likewise here also you do a similar thing. So you can find out the frequencies, you can find out the duration of stays, and you can find out also the state probabilities. Likewise, this is a unit which has probably an operating state and a failed state, but it can also go into a derated state. Okay, for example, if it was to generate, say, for example, 40 megawatts, then it goes into a state in which it doesn't generate 40, but it generates 30. So it could go into a derated state, and then it could go to a state in which nothing is being generated. So you can have one or multiple derated states also. So for example, now this is a derated state. So you have a working state, you have a failed state, and you also have a derated state, and you have the transitions. You see? So you know the rates of departures, the failure rates and the repair rates, and you know the departure rates, and therefore you know the duration of stays in those various states. And using those Markov analysis, you can find out the state probabilities, and therefore you can also find out the frequencies of encountering these states. Okay, so that's no big deal. Now likewise, for example, this is IEEE model for peaking generating unit. So this just to give you an example of very applications of this kind of analysis. So in service, you know, there are some units, and then there are some reserves. You know, whenever there is a peak demand, probably they would cater to the peak demand. Okay, so typically you had earlier units, and they could enter into a failed state, or one unit and enter into a failed state, or couple of units probably generating an amount, and then it could go into a failed state. But then you have reserves. Okay, so there is, if you have reserve which caters to peaking, whenever there is a peak demand, so the reserves come into action. The reserves begin to play that role, and therefore you have a reserve. But sometimes the reserves can fail, and therefore you have transitions from the completely operational state to a state in which the reserve itself has gone into a shutdown, and that peaking demand cannot be met. So when there is a demand, so there is a shutdown, but that would make sense if there is a peaking demand and it doesn't service. You know, it can be in a shutdown state even when there is no demand. So there are two different states. One is encountering a state, you know, reserve is in shutdown when it is needed, and it is in shutdown when it is not needed. So when there is a need for it, there is a shutdown. When there is no need for it, then there is shutdown, and they are all repairable. And the reserve has shut down. The reserve has shut down, and then reserve has shut down, and then you are able to also enter into a state when it is needed and when it is not needed. This is a state of reserve shutdown when it is needed and you are not able to cater to the reserve, so you enter into this state, and when it is not needed, you enter into this state. So this is a state when everything is working. This is a state in which the reserve is not working, and when reserve is not working, when there is a demand, so it doesn't, the system fails. Peak demand is there and it fails. So you enter into this state. And when there is no demand for it, but the reserve has failed, therefore you enter into this state. So what is of interest in knowing is what are the probabilities of these states, encountering these states, and what is the duration of stay in these states? How long would the system stay in a state in which the reserve is under shutdown? And what are the frequencies of encounter? These frequencies are important. So you have frequencies, you have duration of stay, and the state probabilities. You see? So you can also have system with two repairable components, two repairable components. So you have a state, like the one which we saw earlier. This is basically the same thing. You have two repairable components. So you have a state in which two repairable, but these are kind of, they could be identical. So this is just to give an idea about what the number of states would reduce if they are identical. In this particular case, like the one which we had seen earlier, there are 4 different states when they are not identical. They are not identical. There are 2 components, but so you have a state in which they are not identical, which is exactly the same one which we had shown earlier. And when they are identical, then when they are identical units, 2 of them are identical, then you don't need 4 states. You can resolve this into a 3-state problem and solve it. You say that both are up, one is down, it doesn't matter which one. And then when both is down, these are the only possibilities. Okay, when both is up, and because they are identical, one of them could fail, and one of them could fail. So you get into a state in which one is up, one is down. So either of them could fail, either of them, which one doesn't matter. So you have twice that possibility, because you have 2 of them in the operating state. So twice that probability. And therefore 2 lambda. And then you have a state in which one is down, one is up. And the one which is down can get repaired. Isn't it? So this transition, reverse transition, is also possible. Likewise, from this particular state, you could go into a state in which the one which is up also fails, and therefore you enter into a state in which both are down. And both are down, repair is initiated on both of them because both of them are repairable. Okay, and therefore one of the 2 could come up and enter into a state in which one is up, one is down, and then it could get repaired, and you enter into a state in which both are up. So you can find out the probabilities of these states. You would also find out the frequency of encountering these states, and you could also find out the duration of stay in these states. Likewise, we have a IEEE common cause outage model, common cause outage model. For example, this refers to a double circuit transmission on common tower. You have 2 different circuits, transmission on common tower, and therefore both of them are up, but they could be hit by lightning. For example, they could be hit by a lightning, and therefore both of them could be down. So there can be a common cause transition. Common cause transition means both of them are impacted. Both of them are impacted. For example, if there is a fire in a particular space and both your units are there, so both of them would get affected, and therefore both of them would be down. Okay, so if there is a common cause for it, then you enter into a state in which both of them are down. Or if the common cause is not there, if there are some independent causes, then you enter into states in which one of them is down. So you have 1 and 2. In this case, we are not saying they are identical, but we are saying we are trying to make that distinction between 1 and 2 components, and therefore you enter into a state in which one is down, and you enter into a state in which the second is down. And then you have transitions, both ways. You have departures both ways. So here you have an additional departure, which is a common cause departure. So this is a IEEE common cause outage model. So the important idea here is to know what is the probability of being in any particular state. These probabilities are going to be very different from the ones which we have seen here. There are no common causes, for example, in this system with 2 repairable components. And therefore, if there is no common cause, the probabilities are going to be different, duration of stays are going to be different, and the frequency of encountering these states are going to be different. And these are when both of them are identical. These are in which both of them are not identical. So this is a common cause outage model. So outage means failed. Outage means failed, unavailable. So in past systems parlance, when we want to say something is unavailable, we say there is an outage. Okay. So you have state probabilities, you have durations of stay in those states, and then you have frequency of encountering those states. Now, this is a state space diagram for 2 component series model. So I'll give you a break. Just let me see just after this so that, we can come back. We can come back in another 5 minutes. So this is a series system. So 1 and 2 both are needed. 1 and 2 both are needed for whatever reasons. Either if it is connected transmission lines, or it is units, which have to total up to the load requirements, and therefore if one of them fails, it gets into a failed state, and if another goes down, it also enters into a failed state. So either of them failing, it goes into a failed state. So the 2 together are failed states, and this is an operating state. Only state 1 is an operating state, state 2 is a failed state, state 3 is a failed state. Okay, so you can find out the probabilities of being in this state, the frequencies of encountering in any of these 3 states, and the duration of stay in these 3 states. Okay, so it's lunchtime for me, so I think it's better to take half an hour break, and then we can be back. And then we start with something else. Okay, let me finish this as well. Yeah, let me finish this as well. So you have a 2 component standby system. So you have a operating unit and you have a standby. You have an operating unit and you have a standby. So you could have the operating unit failing. A is an operating unit, B is a standby. So you have operating unit failing, and therefore the standby takes over. The one in green shows that it has taken over. Red means it has failed. So you have transitions, and then of course, while the standby is in operation, then the main unit can get repaired. Likewise, once you have the operating unit which has failed and the standby is operating, subsequently the standby also fails. So you enter into this state. Okay, standby also fails. So obviously the preference is to, set the operating unit working, repair the operating unit when both of them have failed. So the operating unit becomes operational, and the standby unit remains failed. Okay, so then you need to repair the standby. And then you enter into this state. Maybe wondering, why don't we have a transition from this state to this state, from state 1 to state 4? The standby is in failed condition is only becomes obvious when there is a demand. Here the operating unit is in failed state, the standby which was operational enters into a failed state, and therefore, the operating unit, if it gets repaired, it takes over and enters into that state. So here there is no transition from state 1 to state 10. Okay, when there is a demand for it, then you know that this standby unit has failed, and therefore it needs a repair. Okay, so this is a model for standby system perfect switching, and so you can find out the probabilities of staying in these states, each of these states, the duration of stays, and the frequency of encountering these states. So you see the relevance of the Markovian analysis, which can lead us to very important conclusions about the state, give us a complete idea about the probabilities of encountering various states, how long the system is going to stay in a particular state, and what is the frequency of encountering these states. So let's take a break of half an hour and we'll be back. So it's lunchtime for me. I'm sure it's past lunchtime for you, but I would definitely need a lunch break now. So thank you so much. And we'll meet after half an hour.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you.